Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on the Oldham County Instructional Technology Channel. Today, I am going to show you Smart Learning Suite. This is a free online resource available to everyone, whether or not you have a smart panel. Again, you do not have to have a smart panel or any kind of panel to be able to use the resources I'm going to show you today. You also don't have to have student devices. So when I describe the activities, I'll show you this both ways. You'll see obviously how it will have great interaction for teachers with a smart board and for students. And a lot of these activities are quick and easy to use if you have student devices, including student cell phones and Chromebooks and iPads. But you can also do everything I show you today with just a projector. So hopefully you will be excited to learn about these new free resources if you haven't heard of them before. Okay, first I want to show you how to get to the content that we're using today. I'm just using this one Google slide I created for some first graders that I work with on digital citizenship. And so I want to quickly give credit to Common Sense Education. And if you all don't know about Common Sense, please check out their website. It's commonsense.org. You just scroll down to the We Educate section, click there, and you will have access to a free digital citizenship curriculum that is ready made for you and fantastic. They work across these 6 themes. You're able to click whichever grade level you want, and within the themes, they also have broken it down into sub themes. And these lessons are really fabulous. I hardly do any editing with them, but they give you a lesson plan. It's translated if needed. You can download it. It'll be straight in Google Slides. Some of them even have sheet music, y'all. I mean, it's really, really fantastic. And one of the things I love the most is at the end of every lesson, there are really good take home resources. You could upload them to your Google Classroom to send out to parents. And I love coming back to my classes, and I will almost always have a student come up to me and say, "Guess what? Me and my daddy did this activity last night." And I've had that multiple times. And so it's really great. It's a great way to help educate your parents about digital citizenship. And we know we always want our parents to know what's going on in the classroom. And it's great when it's already there made for us and done well. So that is my spill on Common Sense. Check them out if you haven't already, because digital citizenship, yes, it promotes great online behavior, but it also promotes great offline behavior. So make sure that you give them a look if you haven't already. Okay, so when I first created this activity, it was it had some interactive things for students. Had a song, had a couple of little video clips in it, but with Smart Learning Suite, I can really up the student engagement. So, first, let me show you how to get to Smart Learning Suite. And guess what? It is in your Google Drive. So, I'm just going to go to my homepage. And if you click on your new, scroll down to more, and again scroll to the bottom, you will see it. You might have not even noticed it before. But if you click on this, it is going to take you to a page that looks like that looks just like this. And it is going to give you options on what to do with your slides. Now, with Smart Learning Suite, you basically can go through it 2 ways. You can upload your Google Slides into the suite right here through import from Google Drive. I'm going to show you both ways. If you do it this way, make sure you are finished editing your Google Slides, because you cannot edit once you've imported. Like if you have a typo, for instance, you would have to go back to Google Slides and then start over and import through here. So just make sure your slides are finished if you use this way. And the other way to do it is to start with an activity or start with an assessment. So if you have a Google slideshow, and then let's say at the end you want to add a quick assessment just to see how they learned that day, and you want to see just a quick multiple choice question, you can add that easily to the end of your slideshow. You make the content, and what happens is once you create that content, Google Drive and Smart Learning Suite make a folder for you. Like I didn't make this folder, Smart Learning Suite did. And if you click on it, all the activities that you make will be in this folder. So I could open any, like this one I'm going to show you in a second. You could open this and then add it on to the end of your slide presentation, or just open it up afterwards. So that is kind of how that works. So just real quick again, you have all sorts of kinds of assessments, and it will show you the data afterwards. And you have activities, and this is everyone's favorite because they're super engaging. They're easy to make. Now notice that some of them say devices required. This is a favorite. It's very easy, and I will show you what one of these looks like in a minute. But some say devices required. Those require student devices. The others do not. But you can always throw these out to kids. So if I'm doing a super sort, which I've made, and I will show you this, and I want the kids to do it, I want it on student devices, I can make it that way. Okay. If I don't, if I want to do it up front as a class call out activity, or if I'm modeling, I can do it as a teacher. So it's super flexible, and that's really nice. So let's look at a couple of activities. Now, what I did here is I imported that slideshow that I showed you into Smart Learning Suite. So just to back up, I clicked import from Google Drive, and then I found that slideshow and imported it. Just to know, I already did it ahead of time, so it wouldn't be slow, just to know how I got here. Now, let me show you what you can do here. You notice it will say finish editing. So you can change the name if you would like, because this is going to create a new document. You will have your old slideshow, and then you will have the smart version of it. So I could just call it, literally that's what I would do, Smart DC1 Pause and Think Online. So you can change the name. You can move slides around up and down and say, like this, I just used for this presentation. So let's say I want to delete that. So you can delete things. See if it deletes. I want to delete you. Maybe I just hit the delete button. Okay, I was making it too hard. You just hit the delete button. And then you can also move slides. So you can shift the order of your slides. And then the rest of the work you can do on this is through converting it to an activity. Okay, so let's try that. If I click this button, you have a couple of options. You can make this an individual handout activity. And what that does is it throws it to the kids. So that means they are going to work through this online by themselves. Okay, and like there's a couple of videos in here, so I might want them to read through this online with their headphones and do it independently. And this makes it a collaborative workspace activity. That means we're doing it together as a class. Okay, so we can try either one. Let's say if we wanted to do a handout. Excuse me. Kind of gives you a preview of what that looks like. And it switches us to another page, as you can see. And as we progress through, you can see a couple of things. It gives kids the option to write on this, which we wouldn't need to do. But if you had a handout activity, let's say this was a math activity, you have these pen highlighter functions. Let's say this was a PDF that you were wanting the kids to annotate. You have that option to make this a handout and they are able to annotate. So that is what a handout is if you're throwing that out to the kids. But let's say we don't want to do that and we go backwards. So then you don't have to do that. So let's go on down and say we want to make one a collaborative workspace. And I know these aren't really activities, but it'll give you the idea. So again, student devices required. And when you have that option, you kind of have the same things going on. But it's what a collaborative workspace is you have multiple kids working on it at the same time, and you also have the teacher as well. So these two options are really, really, really similar. The other option you have, where a lot of the power is of uploading your document through Smart Learning Space or Smart Learning Suite. Let's say that after question 15, I wanted to see where my kids were. I hit the plus sign. And I can do an activity or an assessment. And one thing that most people really, really love is doing a quick shout out. So you can insert a shout out into randomized or categories or however you would like to do it. You can insert activities into your presentation. Okay. You can insert all sorts of stuff. Let's say that after we'd gone over through all the digital citizens, I wanted to insert an assessment. I can do that. I just click insert assessment and I could do a short answer question. I could type whatever I want, open answer. Which DC is most like you? And then you can add more than one question I don't want to, and then finish, and there it is. Okay, so there's lots of great stuff you can do. And when you're finished editing, you just click finish editing. So this is what it looks like when you insert the whole slideshow into Smart Learning Suite. The other thing you can do that I like to do sometimes is start with an activity. Okay, and that is what I did here. I started with a super sort. So all I did was when I went to this page, I clicked start with an activity rather than importing from Google Drive. I started with an activity and then went down and I clicked super sort. And then with super sort, you have all sorts of different fun. Like I did not draw these guitarists and everything. I didn't do any of that. Smart Learning Suite did that. So I picked they picked the template and I just enter the information. And so it's super easy to do. And this can be set up a couple of ways. You can set it up as a teacher or you can set it up as a student. Okay. So when I did this with my kindergartners, I had the smart board up front. They were gathered around on the carpet and we did this together. Okay. But I could have also shot it out to them on their Chromebooks. Yes, my kindergartners are Chromies. So if you wanted to give this to your class, let's say, it's pretty self-explanatory if you're using a projector or an internet pad, some type of device where you're controlling your computer, or if you're up front, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just hit start and you're gonna these get moved. Okay, so this is an example of internet safety. Well, it's supposed to be an example of internet safety. It's not. Whenever you put one in the wrong place, they get electrocuted. If you put it in the right place, they play the right song. It's really cute. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, if I'm going to send it, let's say I want to send it out to kids individually and I want them to do that on their own. When you click on the people icon here, you will get your name, Dr. Newcomb, and then a class ID. You can make it bigger with this arrow, and it tells students how to join your class. You just go to hellosmart.com. They will have to log in. So you need to make sure that's vetted through your district. So you just go to hellosmart.com, they log in through Google, they develop an alias, make sure they do that appropriately, and then they log in with a class ID. So I am now logged in through Smart Learning Suite. So it says one student connected, that's me. And I could do the super sort on my phone right now. Okay, so pretty cool. Also, what I did is I added a shout it out activity. You can add blank pages to this activity, but I did a shout it out. And a shout it out is super easy. So I started for the class, and all it is a blank sheet where you can just pose a question to kids and they can respond. So let's say I'm the teacher and I say, what's some examples of you balancing your time offline? And I could say, I play outside. Oops. Outside when it is warm. Send a response, and there's my response. So as a teacher, I can move these around and I would get about 19, 25 other responses. You can share, you can expand and ask kids to talk about them. It has their alias there, so you know whose response is whose. Okay, and in case, let's say, oh, this one's inappropriate, drag it and delete it. Okay, and you can also reset the activity. So shout it outs are really nice. Okay. And that's how that works. So let's say, man, I don't have time to make anything like that. I need something quick for tomorrow, and I've never used this before, and it looks really great. And man, I could sure use that for my lesson tomorrow. I could sure use some increased engagement for tomorrow, but I've got family stuff tonight, and I'm not going to get to bed until 11:30, and time is short. You can go to the website Smart Exchange, exchange.smarttech.com, log in with Google, and boom, you've got tons of free lessons, free activities, free assessments that work on their own. You do not have to have the smart board. Some are created by Smart Technologies, and then some are created by teachers. Show you an example. For example, this is a class schedule, really cool, really useful, that a teacher created that you can use at the beginning of every week for your kids. Classroom rules that a teacher created. So at the beginning of the year, you could look. Job organization. So there's all sorts of things on here. You can search, and you can search by grades, you can search by subjects, and if you create something that's really great, you can share it. You can share that resource out. So there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lessons on here. There are also smart notebook lessons. Whoops, that went away. But anyway, there are also smart notebook lessons. Now, there is a free version of Smart Notebook that you can use for 45 days. You can download that to any computer, not Chromebooks, but any other computer. It is difficult to use without a panel, but not if you're doing like a mix and match, a super sort. So it's something you might want to check out. Smart Notebook is a whole other lesson, but you can check that out and get an online Smart Notebook version for 45 days on any computer other than a Chromebook. So make sure, if you're not going to do that, if you're not going to go that way, make sure when you look at a lesson that it's not a Smart Notebook lesson, that it is a Smart Learning Suite lesson. So I really hoped this was helpful for you today, and that it expanded your toolbox in terms of technology and engagement for your students. So if you have any questions at all about Smart Learning Suite, Smart Exchange, or any of these resources, please feel free to reach out and check out our other resources on the Oldham County Instructional Technology YouTube video links. And I hope that all of you have a fantastic day.